What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the B3 Podcast. I'm your host, Brett. Chris, the artist formerly known as Heavy C. We got Matt GPT's back, and we got the comeback kid wearing two different shoes, Tanner. Fucking guy gets dressed in the dark. Fucking one heart attack, can't fucking get dressed in the light.
I mean, they are technically the same shoe, but they're like different versions of the same shoe. And they're sitting right next to each other. So
we have our show partners, Elite Nutrition. Check them out at EliteNutritionOmaha.com. Use code B3 at checkout for 10% off. Go to the store in Omaha or Lincoln, yell B3.
Get a free shaker.
And 10% off.
Yeah.
Rosewood Block, they make the best cutting boards and barbecue, fully customizable. Check them out at rosewoodblock.com. Use code B3 at checkout for 10% off. And then you can go to D&D Beef and get some beef to cut on the cutting board and use code B3 at checkout for 10% off there also. And Omaha Barbell, the real Midwest mecca and home of the Ed Cohn Classic Super Meat. We need more strongmen to sign up. The powerlifting meat sold out.
They're just a little slow.
Yeah, they're always slow. We're having the best events. If you haven't gone, go to Iron Podium and check it out.
There's some fucking fun events.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's everybody. But yeah, we were talking about ChatGPT and the usage of it.
It's funny how people just have this, people just have this reaction. Like if you went on ChatGPT, like you're using AI, like you said, like you're using AI, it's like, well, it combines all of the information on the internet. And then if you want it to go deeper, like if you don't like the answer, because they will get mainstreamy. Obviously, the first thing is going to be a mainstream answer. It'll dig into you. Like I've had ChatGPT correct itself many times after looking further into something. It's like the only thing you can argue with, because you can't argue with people and they change your mind. It's the only thing you can argue with that'll actually change its mind if it's wrong.
And Tanner knows his favorite pastime is arguing with people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody disagreed. He's the only one that disagreed.
It takes other people to argue with me for me to be able to argue.
I don't think
I can't just fucking argue with myself.
He said that to me, and I was like, I bet when you're at your store with no music or TV on, he's having conversations with himself.
Oh yeah, you're having imaginary arguments with people.
And I do argue with myself sometimes.
Exactly. I think it's this. No way, dude. There's no way it's
well,
that.
I don't necessarily argue with myself, but I will challenge. I will challenge myself to make sure that either I'm right or that I'm wrong. Like I will challenge myself.
Then you go home at night and you carve it into your bedpost and you're like, I won.
Yeah. I just have notches.
Yeah. It's not gross.
Arguments one.
Oh, before we go too far, we had a lot of good responses back from our podcast last week about graduating into Omaha Barbell.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people really related to that. So that was good. So if you're at a big box gym, figure your life out.
It's true.
I mean, it just makes sense. I mean,
and actually Kevin Schubert was the one that reached out too.
Yeah.
And he had a whole long thing about coming here and, kind of deciding if he was going to be strong enough, which it's not about necessarily being strong enough, but.
Well, some people I do tell a lot of people, because some people are a little intimidated.
Sure.
Right. And that's why I give them the free week pass.
Yeah.
It's like they're a little intimidated. It's like, no, there's nothing to be intimidated about, but like, I just feel like you have to have a certain level of like etiquette or knowledge or confidence, I guess, to most people to like walk in the door.
Yeah, we just want it's a community where everybody knows most people that are here, and it's, the etiquette of pick up after yourself, like respect. Like that was that's why I tell people when they join, pick up after yourself, respect other people, help people out because everybody will help you out.
No other gym people do not pick up after them.
No, we have a really good. Like I posted a whole put your weights away thing, but we have very few. Yeah. That leave their stuff out really every now and then, but it's not that bad. But yeah, so we had good responses back to it.
That's good. That's awesome.
But you wouldn't know.
Why? Because I don't check the responses. What
No.
did you see the responses, Tanner?
No, because you don't come.
Well, I got texted.
You wouldn't know if we put stuff away.
You don't watch the episodes and you don't come to the gym.
I have perused the episodes every now and again. I still come to the gym on Saturdays.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Every 5 weeks. But on the ChatGPT thing, I had this compliance review I had to do for my payment processing company. And we got in like a massive argument.
The PCI compliance?
No, just their regular compliance and whatever. I think they're supposed to do it annually probably or somewhere along the way. But first they messaged me and said, oh, hey, we need a copy of your driver's license, your social security number and all this. And I was like, this is a scam. So I called the company and they were like, yes, this is real. So I got them that and they're like, well, who's the other 50% owner? And I was like, well, my wife. Well, we need her info. You've never had it for 10 years. And now you're like, we need that information. So we get him all that. And then the lady goes, okay, well, I looked over everything. You should be good. But your website doesn't have a privacy policy or terms and conditions on there. And I go, why would I? I don't sell anything. Well, you have to, because you list your products on there. You list because we have our membership prices. I said, I don't think that's true. And I said, which I update our website myself. Like, we don't do a ton of updates anyway. And I was like, you're telling me for the entire time that I've been in business with you for 10 years, I was supposed to have terms and conditions and a privacy policy on my website, and no one thought they should tell me. And now you think I should pay to have someone update my website because you didn't do this. And then she kind of throws herself under the bus, is like, well, the last time we did a compliance was 2016. I was like, that sounds like a you problem. I don't know how that's my fault. And I was like, then the president of the company supposedly gets on and emails me and says, oh, I thought I'd get here and help. Like, I think your information isn't right. Because then he sends me, he goes, because Nebraska and the credit card companies require this. So he sends me a state statute. So I look at the state statute and I had a basic understanding, but then I put it in ChatGPT and I was like, can you summarize this for me? And it was basically like, oh, if you do phone sales, you have to let everyone know like their cancellation policy and things like that. And I was like, okay. And I said, well, do credit cards require you to have these things if you don't sell anything on your website? And there it's like, no. So I email him back and I was like, yeah, this is for phone sales and I don't do any of these things. And the credit card companies do not require it. And I said, if this is just to make your underwriters happy, then I have terms and conditions on my website now to keep them happy. And I said, for future reference, ChatGPT can summarize a lot of things, so you should be careful what you say. And he never replied. And the next day, I just get an email. Oh, your compliance review is all done. You're good to go. But like, you couldn't even like apologize. Like, cause I know like sometimes underwriters just have like a checklist of things they need to check and make sure is there.
Especially for that kind of stuff.
But you could have been like, oh, I didn't know, man. Like you could have apologized. Like, I didn't know you didn't do phone sales or like, cause I have a client of mine who has a payment processing company. And he was like, you don't have a terms and conditions because you don't sell anything. And he goes, and you don't even collect information from people. I don't have like a form to take your email address, because if you take email addresses, I think you have to let them know, So I said that whole thing to him, not a single like, oh, sorry, I didn't know you didn't do any of these things. Or just say, hey, this is our company policy. Don't be like, it's illegal. Dude, I know how to read a state statute. And if I didn't, I know someone that can decipher a state statute for me.
I don't know. AI
is going to really fuck a lot of people. Well, not actually prevent people from being fucked if you use it right.
It'll do both.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Plus, AI is going to get rid of a lot of
jobs.
Yeah.
Like I know some people who are looking or like talking about getting into programming, and I was like, dude, I'd be pretty leery because unless you're like a graphic designer or like a programmer, if you're not like the upper echelon who's really good and like using like, like
programming AI.
Well, unless you're really good at like Photoshop or like Illustrator, like, and you can fix like maybe the AI graphics, you know what I mean? Because sometimes they're kind of fucked up and you can fix them. Or if you're the upper echelon programmer, or you're like Chris said, you're programming AI is going to program everything. So like, I probably myself wouldn't be jumping into programming right now.
Absolutely
I can't imagine it's like a real desirable field.
So I was just
talking
like
speech writing. Yeah. Like to be a speechwriter, probably not the best time unless you're already like writing like, the president's speeches or something. You know what I mean? Like you're that upper echelon of speech writing.
Well, that's what the whole writers' strike was about. Is because they were trying to get in contracts you couldn't use AI to do like TV and movie scripts. Yeah, I mean, that's what the whole strike was about a few years ago, was trying to get away from it. The whole what was it? Port strike that was under Biden at the end.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about that.
That was all about using AI to do things.
You know how that kind of just went away?
It did.
Like
because didn't they try to delay it?
Deal, then it was just like
they were trying to delay it until basically into Trump's term, but then I never heard anything about it again.
Yeah. So whatever happened with it?
Who knows?
Yeah, it just went away.
It's the way a lot of things are. Like we feel like they're a big deal and then they just disappear.
Well, I thought they started kind of digging into that president guy and he was kind of not on the up and up. And then after that, it went away.
Well, he talked like a mob boss.
Yeah,
like when he was on there, it's just like
that was what I was going to bring up, is that AI was going to get rid of those guys' jobs, and that's why they were so mad. Yeah, but then it went away. I don't know.
Now, what's really funny is that every single time we've had a technological advance, there's been the same thing. Going from the horse to the car, right? I mean, like from all the way from going to horse to car to like every single time the internet was going to take away jobs. Automation was going to take away jobs, but somehow we still continue to have more jobs. You know what I mean? So it's just, you have to pivot. But there may be a time where we don't. Like there may be a time where there is no pivot. That there actually is no job.
I think we're going to see, like, this is going to be a huge change. And so like, there's like a delay in the creation, right? So as cars start coming out, like that starts eliminating opportunities for farriers and horses and all that stuff. But it opens up all this other opportunity. But that was a slower change. And so I think things have been slower. Now when AI is going to come out, it's not going to be slow. It's going to immediately be, hey, I don't need you guys anymore. Like one of the guys I follow he cut his company size in half and increased his productivity by 20% with AI in 3 months.
But now we have to figure out what those like.
Right, but it opens up a lot more opportunities, right? So, but those opportunities are going to come along, but they're not going to be as transparent as they were before.
I don't know. It feels like every single time we've had this, the internet did the same thing, that it's always going to eliminate everything, and it never has to this point.
Yeah, I think the one change is that AI can do the thing for you. Like when we switched from horses to cars, like it was a transition in what those jobs did. So now we don't need people to take care of horses. We need people to build cars and do stuff. When electricity came around, we don't need lamplighters because we have this other stuff. But now we need people to to power electricity. Internet came around. We don't need people in office, but we still need people to do the job, but they can be elsewhere. AI is going to do the job. So like, it's not like it's transitioning. It's going to do what you were doing.
But the use of power is astronomically more.
Right. So you still need power.
So now you may have more. I mean, you may go back to some other jobs.
Yeah.
You may go back to there may be coal miners, but like power plants, building the power plants, building the nuclear facilities. I think Nebraska supposed to get a joint nuclear facility. Is that on the? I don't know. I think there's one coming, like one of the newer nuclear facilities. It's like a lot smaller. I don't know if they call it compact, but I'm sure we're going to need one because of freaking Google and Facebook and everyone else who has data centers here.
Yeah, you're going to need that. I don't think it will. It'll still be, AI is going to eliminate more jobs than like the power plant's going to create. I think, but what it does is it opens up, and look at all the jobs that are opening up now because of AI. Like AI prompting is huge, right? And so it's going to open stuff up, but it's going to be different.
It's going to be way different.
Well, that's why I think the trades are going to be big, because I think AI
blue collar stuff's here to stay for a while.
AI can't eliminate electricians and plumbers and
cannot.
The hands-on stuff, it can't do it yet.
It will never be able to.
Oh, 100% it will.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
There's too many variables.
100%.
I mean, you can't go out and have like an AI replace a lineman.
Why not?
How's it going to climb the pole and fix the line?
Have you seen some of the robots that can walk? Like when they started as like stumbling, fumbling things, and now it'll do somersaults and back handsprings.
Think of how fast AI has grown. When ChatGPT first came out, it was everybody's just using it to like joke around, and within 2 years now it's like, what it is today. And in 2 years from now, it's probably going to be,
I'm talking more. I don't think you're ever going to be able to have a robot be able to. I mean, not in our. Probably not in my lifetime, that can go into like a person's house and like do a plumbing job. There's too many variables that are going to require.
But it's all still a lot.
Plus, it's going to be too expensive to make that robot to do those jobs.
I don't know.
Well, that's okay.
I mean,
someone has to be the guy
logic of it. The thought process is just a logic tree. Like plumbers are. I mean, not to downplay it, but when they're problem solving, they're going through a logic tree problem solving scenario to figure out what's wrong with it. The part that is the delay right now is the mechanical part. Like we envision a plumber coming in as like someone like a robotic humanoid who comes in with hands and fingers and stuff, but they don't have to. It could be an R2D2 thing that comes in with a bunch of little tentacles and that are much more malleable, or that can split off into all these things to like for the physical piece.
So you cannot to this point, I cannot put a robot in front of YouTube and it learn how to drive.
Right.
It has to be programmed.
Right.
So there are too many variables, and it takes millions of lines of code to keep that fucking car on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and that's a fairly controlled environment compared to a plumber or electrician. So, I mean, I'm not saying it can't get there. I'm just saying, one, I don't think it'll be worth the money to get there. I don't think we're going to replace electricians and plumbers that are like going out and doing things. I don't think it'll be worth the money. Linemen might be, because you could build a robot and going into storms, you wouldn't have to worry about it. Mm-hmm. But whether it can work in a storm, I guess is going to be another thing. You know what I mean? But I just don't think it's going to be worth the cost for any time soon.
Right.
I think it's going to be, I think in a factory control things, but even like in Arizona, I think it was in Phoenix, they had the self-driving cabs and they all got stuck at a stoplight.
Right.
You had 4 cabs or 4 automated things.
Think
stuck
about
at a
where like there were very similar arguments to AI 10 years ago, even go 20 years ago. Like a lot of like what AI can do now, people are like, oh, like it can't do that stuff. Like we're never going to get to that spot.
I just still think it's designed on programming, and until we get it to where it can think, and I don't know where that is. Like I don't know how close they are to that to make a decision, to be able to like watch something. It's still not our brain.
Well, and I think like you're saying, I think the humanality, common sense, like if I have, say, little old lady Susie needs like an outlet fixed in her house, and she has a dresser sitting in front of it, she's not going to move it. Is that robot going to be able to common sense know, I need to move this and not damage it?
I currently know. I don't know what the answer is.
But is it going to be able to, or if it's like, okay, I'm programmed, I know if there's something here, I need to move it. Okay, so I move it. Okay, well, I just scratched her wood floors because I didn't know that I should put something down to not.
I was going to say, there's a lot.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of the factors come in. It's
I think it's going to learn very quickly though from itself. Kind of like when mechanics start working on cars, right? They run into an issue.
My point is, it can't.
Well, that's the thing. They run into an issue, and then they go and they put it on the internet. They all have like a network that they all do. And then some guy in Ohio is like, oh, I ran into that same issue and I had this. And once all of those robots or AI or whatever is all connected like that, and they're learning from each other, it'll be instantaneous to where it runs into a problem. And then another robot AI thing already ran into that problem. It'll be instantaneous to where it can say,
I don't think a robot will be able to say, to be able to solve that problem.
I don't think it'll be able to learn or solve it fast enough.
It'll take a human to say, hey, my robot had this problem and this is how we fixed it. So the humans still
because
uploaded.
Say you go into old lady Susie's house still and you move her dresser. Well, you don't know that she has the mirror wired to the wall. You know what I mean? So like the mirror doesn't fall or has an anchor to the wall.
I'm not saying it's going to get rid of every human being job, right? But let's say,
I think anything that involves like on the spot common sense or things you have to notice, I don't think it can.
But if I
guess I can retract my lineman part because it could know this isn't working. This is what I do because it's always climb the pole, fix this.
But what if there's a tree in the way? Like there's tree branches that are in front of it, or there's a tree that's grown around a power line, right? You'd have the same thing, but it's AI. If I have 100 robots, I don't need each of them to learn the same thing in different scenarios. One robot learns it, they all learn it, right?
That's kind of like what I was saying.
If I tell a robot, so they go in, they see a dresser, they move it, they scratch the floor. Cool. So I have a person who runs these robots, or maybe I have a couple people. And I'm like, oh, hey, guys, let's update this logic. All right, cool. We're going to add this to the pool. Now all 100 of them know that.
I'm just saying, when Elon was talking about how to keep a car on the road, it was fucking almost.
It's super hard.
Yeah. So I just don't see it doing some of the other jobs. I don't think it's worth the time, money, or effort.
What if
just because there's so many variables you're saying?
Yeah, but driving is pretty controlled. I mean, it's controlled enough to where humans fuck it up. So if a robot fucks it up, you know what I mean? Like,
what if it's all robots driving, and they're all talking to each other?
Yeah, maybe. I don't think it'll get to that point.
At that point, like when they all talk to each other, then cool. I mean, they're all connected to a GPS, so we already have some interconnectivity between them. And so now if they all talk to each other, then they would all know
I just don't think we're going to get to that point.
I don't think we can get to that point just because there's so much legacy to it. Like there's so much infrastructure that would need to be replaced right now.
Well, I think you
can't-
also
I
run
mean-
into the like, and I know there's other factors, but I mean, if it's all robot drivers driving and somebody shuts down the one GPS that runs them,
Or yeah, like
One
wasn't
hacker-
there just like a big outage for Verizon? Like they shut down like the whole couple of states or something. That happens when you're in your car. Oh, the internet just shut off. It just stops.
So the problem is that as we are currently right now, we are the most interdependent civilization that's ever existed. If we get to the point where robots are doing all that, we are so vulnerable. Like part of it is that your vulnerability is so high that anything, a fucking poorly timed solar flare shuts the fucking world down.
that's why
But-
guys want the old Chevy C10s, the no computers in them.
I'm just like when technology advances, you become more like right now. If we were without the grid for 30 days, I would guess that 80% of Western civilized population is dead in 30 days.
If we were without what?
If we're without the grid,
Oh.
if our power grid went down right now, and if AI keeps pushing, it's going to be more. It's going to be more interdependent. Like honestly, you better learn how to do your own shit just in case. But people won't.
Yeah,
That's probably actually how the world ends, is that the fucking grid goes down for like 27 minutes, like in the year 2200, and people can't survive at all.
Yeah, I just think that some of those where there's so many variables that have common sense that I think that's going to be
But what is common sense? Like if we can define it, like what
like to be able to see a problem and instantly solve it, not wait to be reprogrammed to solve it.
right?
like
But how do
Vanilla Ice
you
said, if
how
there
do
was a
you
problem,
know?
we'll solve it.
Right, but how do you know?
But a computer AI can't learn that way.
it can't learn that way right now.
I don't know if it'll ever be able to.
I'm
It
not
might be
sa-
able to.
Right, I'm not saying it can solve. It's not going to be able to solve everything. But if it knows, like use the dresser example, if it knows there's a dresser on the ground, right, and it's in front of whatever I need to fix, it has predictive modeling that can say, if I drag it, I'm going to scratch the floor.
I mean, I get like I did program like all the if then statements
Yeah.
and all your, you know what I mean.
But this is
And
like,
things
yeah, I mean, but it's like the learning models themselves. Yes, they are predictive, but they can all learn off of each other. So I mean, really, all we're doing is we're using past experiences to project forward.
Well, no, I know, but that same robot could go to 10 different jobs and say it has to move a dresser at this lady's house. Okay, so it knows, okay, it's on a wood floor, I need to do this. Well, okay, well, now she has a cup of coffee sitting on the dresser and she's old and forgot it's there. So now the robot moves the dresser, spills the coffee everywhere. Whereas like a human's going to be like, oh, we're going to fucking move this because we can comprehend and process. I mean, no one is going to outprocess the human brain.
Our
As far
brain
as
is
that.
still better than.
And that's why I'm talking like
Right.
stuff like that.
But we're putting limitations on AI because we don't know what it can do.
It's just like when Terminator walks into the bar and he starts scanning you, right? The robot's gonna scan the dresser, coffee cup, this thing, that thing, this thing. This is what I need to do to make this happen.
I mean, well, how long have iPhones been around?
20 years.
It still can't figure out how I type. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Well, that's not even close to the compute power that like one of these like.
but that's what I'm saying. That's a simplistic thing. I've typed on the same iPhone, the same program for 15 years.
Right, but if-
it still doesn't know how my fat fingers type.
Right.
But it can tell me when I get in my truck where it thinks I'm going.
And if I would say if like you use that as a predictor to like the intelligence of AI, like they're not even the same thing.
So
I mean, but kind of how? Why if it can't learn my
like
keyboard?
that's not a learning model.
But
Like
it is because
it's a mild predictive model, but like it's not the same compute level as what you're gonna.
But
have
it's had like
here.
15 years to learn me.
Doesn't matter. It still doesn't have the same compute power. Like it's not designed to do all this predictive and do all that. Like,
But it does all the predictive words it thinks I'm gonna do.
right. But it's not the same thing. Like
I think
it
it
doesn't
is.
have the same compute power. It's not even close.
How just tell me how that's not. I want you to explain. Don't just say it. I want to know the technical way that it's not. Because if I type the same way every day, if I type the same word, like let's say I type Omaha barbell probably multiple times, and it thinks I fat finger and hit the letter next to it every single time, why would it think that that's the letter I'm trying to touch?
Is it designed to do that?
It
Is
fucking
designed-
sure wants to put words that I think I'm typing up
Right,
there.
but is it designed to know that hey,
And it picks up all repetitive things you do.
after 15 times that I hit G instead of F, oh, he means to hit F. Cool.
Yeah.
Right? But now when you hit G and you want to hit G, are you going to hit H or are you going to hit G?
I don't think it does that. I just think it knows you're typing barbell. It doesn't care about how you got there to type it. You know what I mean? If you
It's not trying to.
yeah,
But it has the whole like swipe model. You know, I mean, you can swipe on it and type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so that's what I'm saying. How can it figure it out? It can figure out everything else I do in a day.
So look at your TI-1 versus the TI-89. Like they're both calculators. They're both doing stuff, but like as they get better, they get more and more compute power and they can do more and more. The compute power that has is nowhere near the power that a ChatGPT has. Like it doesn't have the same learning background.
But it's not
It
even
doesn't have
trying
the
to.
same- Yeah, it doesn't have the same logic, if you will, or solve power that this has. Like they're not even on the same page.
I don't know, man. It's the same reason everybody gets mad. It says duck all the time and nobody's typing duck.
Mine actually will autocorrect to fucking.
Yeah. But you get what I'm saying? Like, so,
It took a while though.
I mean, the iPhone itself has a lot of computing power.
It does, but
Okay.
it's not the same.
But it's not even close to the same.
But okay, so part of where we're also like the next level, and this is where I don't understand. This is where I don't know if it can or cannot is quantum, like quantum mechanics, and like so they're working on like quantum computing. So you'll like right now we're in a binary like zeros and ones. That's a bit, right? And quantum computing works on qubits, so it can be a 0 or 1, and it can be fixed or it can be either. Does that make sense, Brett?
Well, not really, because I mean, there's zeros and ones already.
But but when you code, it's a 0 or a 1, right? It can't change once it's coded. A qubit can change. So it could be a 0 or a 1. It could be a 0 and a 1 at the same time. It could be fixed as a 0 or a 1. So the amount of information that's in that bit has gone up like 16 or 32 times whatever in that one bit. Now we have way more variables, and it can change as the code goes. So if you needed to go back, if you needed to change in your code to go back to a 0 from a 1, it can do it. It can float in between, or you can fix it if it needs to be fixed. So there's a lot of computing power, but they're right up. I think now they can do 1,000 qubits because it takes it used to be you had to keep it at a certain temperature. Now they're using like lasers and using all kinds of other things to like keep these qubits stable, and they got up to 1,000. Now, as we all know, like from your Nintendo 16-bit to like your Super Nintendo 32-bit to 64-bit to now it fucking just keeps like now we have so much information and it processes so fast it kept jumping. So 1,000, if it got to 13 million bits, it can decode Bitcoin's encryption in like a day. Okay, and that's one of the things they're worried about. I'm not actually worried about it at all. Because
Like getting the quantum power.
no, I'm just not worried about the breaking encryption. Because if Bitcoin has like the best encryption, it takes a day at 13 million,
Yeah.
right? What else has been hacked in between?
Oh yeah.
Everything.
Oh yeah.
Your fucking banking's gone. The fucking grid's gone. Fucking everything's gone.
Yeah.
So like, I'm just going to assume that along the way they're going to figure out how to upgrade the encryption, or we're all fucking fucked anyway. So it doesn't like they're like Bitcoin's going to be worthless. Everything else is too. So it doesn't matter. There will be no safety on anything. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm not worried about encryption. They'll figure that out. But in quantum mechanics, quantum entanglement, all these things, there's a lot of connection that they didn't know that was there. So, like, has anyone heard of quantum entanglement?
Mm-hmm. So that Jada Pinkett and Will Smith had that entanglement?
Yeah.
I know there's some kind of entanglement there.
That was,
Was there 4 people involved? Was it
There's a-
quantum?
That's beyond
That's
quantum.
Quattro.
Oh, okay.
That's Quattro.
Menage entanglement.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right there with you.
Yeah.
Well, quantum entanglement, they'll have an atom and another, and I'm air quoting, another atom that if I react this atom, this other atom has the equal opposite reaction. So that they're like two atoms. There's no distance. It could be 1 billion miles away, and they'll happen. Well, And when quantum, it's not two atoms. So we keep saying, but it's an atom here and atom here. With quantum, it's saying the space in between the atoms is all the same. It's all part of it. So if I have a metal rod and Chris is holding it and I turn it and you have the equal opposite reaction on your side, it's one piece. So that's how we're supposed to think about. Well, with quantum computing and quantum entanglement, I think there's a leap into consciousness. And if we figure out how computers to be conscious, then I think we have a problem. And I think it's all there. Like quantum isn't like the next level of physics, is explaining everything in physics that we don't understand. So every time Einstein or someone came up with an equation, there was always a loophole of something that was missing. So we had like a fixed number here that took care of the equations for all these other things. Quantum just basically fills in that equation. So it tells, but it's not like it's new. It's just that it's new to us understanding it.
But at this point, they don't have the power to run it, right? That's part of it too.
They don't, but that's going to be quick. Like, I think that's going to be quick.
Well, because they're starting to build nuclear again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which was silly. They stopped doing it.
Well, and then like quantum power, there's a guy out there and he's got this very small version. It can basically like power a watch now, but it's two atoms that are like so close to each other that it's like, you can't visibly obviously see it, but they create unlimited power just right there. So like you can just put this little thing in your battery and it's not a battery. It's a local power source that never runs out. It's just the vibration, because everything has a vibration pattern. So it's putting like two elements together that vibrate and they create power. Well, he was talking about basically creating these bricks. And like the bricks would be like, you could just have a brick here at Omaha Barbell and you just have like power. Like we don't have the grid.
Like a home reactor. I've heard they've talked about making home reactors.
And then taking those into third world countries. Well, like, so that's the next level. I think the problem is like space travel. Do you know how close the closest star is that's not our sun? Does anyone have any fucking idea how, like when you're looking up at the sky at night, like the closest star you see, do you know how far away it is?
Some crazy light years away.
It's 4.28 light years away, which is 25 trillion miles. Okay. Like there's no way for us to travel outside of our solar system ever using what we're using today. So I think that part of our problem is that we are combustible. Like this is how we've been thinking. And I think there's going to be a huge shift into something else. We've done really, really, really well with technology down this path, but there's another path that if we ever want to do other things, like we have to go in a different direction. That's not what we're doing now. And that's where like quantum mechanics and quantum entanglement and stuff like that, and the understanding of it and the quantum computing will take that can take the computer to a conscious level. And then that is where we should be worried about, right? Like that is where it gets scary. If a computer develops consciousness, if consciousness is something that, does anyone know what the observer effect is? Mm-mm. So the observer effect in psychology, like if I'm asking Chris a question, they would say that I can alter Chris's response by the way I ask the question, by the words I use, by the tone I use, or by maybe what Chris feels about me. So there's an observer, like Matt could ask a question, I could ask a question, you could ask a question, and we could have different responses based on just our presence, our words, or whatever. Well, they've seen this in experiments to where atoms and shit react different based on the observer. Mm-hmm. So it's called the observer effect. And the idea is that we're actually, when we run an experiment and we're doing things or we're like talking with the world, that we're also passing information, and the experiment is sending us information, and that information is a two-way street. Even though we don't think it is, we're actually giving information, and that's affecting the experiment that we should not be able to affect. I just gave the psychology question because we can understand that. Or example.
How did we get here?
Well, with Matt, with
I was going to ask, like, so I know we were talking about quantum computer. I think about quantum power or quantum computing.
Now we're
I think Tanner's
AI.
talking about AI becoming Terminators.
Well, I'm just
now we're
saying,
observing
like,
Tanner through his window.
there is a pathway, I think, to what Matt is saying. with what we're doing now, I don't think we're on that pathway. I don't think we can get there. I'm just saying there is a pathway to what Matt's saying. I don't think it's in our lifetime. But as rapidly as technology advances, when it gets to a certain level, just like it did with us, like from 1990 to now, in the last 36 years, like it has jumped so much from 10,000 years. You know what I mean? Like it jumped more in 30 years than it did in all the years prior.
I think once it starts rolling, it's going to go fast. It's going to be real fast at how much the technology just keeps ramping up.
Yeah.
So I think that's how we got there. Once we figure out quantum entanglements, AI is going to try to take over the world, is what Tanner's saying.
Well,
Which goes back to part of our show is you should have guns.
yeah. Well,
But
maybe EMPs.
I mean, a lot of the AI guys have talked about it as being the singularity, right? So as soon as it can create new thoughts,
We're
now
fucked.
I mean, I think the definition of a moron is someone with an IQ of like 82. And Einstein was projected to be 160
Or higher.
something or higher. We'll just say 160 and 80 because that's easier, right? So Einstein was roughly 2.5 times smarter than a moron, and look what he did. You are now going to have an AI who's going to be
It was only 2 times smarter. 80 to 160.
2.5, right? 2.
2.
Yeah, 2.
Math.
Sorry, math.
Come on, you're
Yeah.
supposed to be our math guy.
That's what I got AI for. So when you're dealing with something that is, hundreds, thousands of times smarter, like what it will end up being capable of.
Or was it one of those things where it's so smart it's stupid?
I mean, I don't.
You know what I mean? Like those people that are so smart they're stupid. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think this does, like you said,
that's common sense. That's like really smart people don't have common sense. And that's what you were talking about before.
there is a limit.
That the robots won't have common sense, but they'll be super smart.
So, like what you said, have guns, right? It's more like, I think it's important to learn how for us to do all of our own things, because everything that requires a robot, especially if robots get to this next level and they're doing things, all the things that they require, we don't need. Okay.
Might go back to life on the frontier.
Well, like just go back to the Matrix. Like, what does they need? Power. They need energy, right? They need materials that we don't need. They won't care about us needing food because they don't need it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's where we're all talking about power, taking like all these things, but like the amount of like food and everything that requires for us, like it's almost becomes secondary. Like we need nuclear, like fuck corn. So I think everyone should learn how to do their own things. And I think, like I said this a few months ago, I think there's going to be a Y in the road coming down. There's going to be people who end up like merging with computers. And then there's going to be people that go back to the frontier. I think you're going to have this Y in the road. And 90% of people are going to merge with computers because it's easier. Like most people live in the cities because it's easier. It's easier to be closer. It's easier transportation. It's easier to get to work. You have more stuff close by. It's easier. It will be easier to merge with a computer than it will be to live on your own in the fucking country. But you'll have this why. So like there will be a decision. I don't know if it's 10 years or 1,000 years or 1,000,000. I don't know what it is. I just think there will be a decision to where like you're going to go back to farming and taking care of your own shit with limited uses of technology. Like we'll use technology, communication, like there'll be that. But there will be a merging of technology where people will have chips that are merged in with their devices.
Yeah, I think I'm out on that one.
You don't want to merge with the device?
I don't think I want a chip in my head.
I'm fucking in. I'm here for it. I mean, I think going to like space travel, like I think it makes more sense that we upload to some kind of consciousness and just explore a made up universe that way than we actually go.
We can have some VR goggles now.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing, really. I mean, ultimately, it's the same thing
I mean, it's similar.
because you're like fully immersed in it.
Space travel is impossible with how we're doing. Like with how we're doing, like, yeah, we can go to fucking Mars. That's a big 6-month journey. Like for us to leave our solar system is fucking possible while we're doing it now. Like unless you drastically change technology, you're not traveling 25 trillion miles. And let's just say that you did in 4.28 light years. Everyone here is dead. Like the way time works, the time paradox, you're all gone. Like if I travel 6 months at the speed of light in one direction and come back and travel 6 months back, it's like 144 years in the future. Like everyone that I knew and whoever was running the experiment, everyone else is dead. It doesn't matter.
How long before time travel, though? That's the real question.
Well, if it's not already here.
I mean, you can time travel to the future just by going close to the speed of light.
Yeah, I just said, like, if you travel 6 months and travel 6 months back, you're like...
I mean, Candace Owens just said that Charlie Kirk was a time traveler. So,
Did she really?
yes.
She's wild.
I admire her commitment to
Wildness.
her theories.
I mean, here's the thing. She says a lot of things that are true. And
Part of it, she was talking about, like, there was some text between them about being a time traveler, but she wasn't, like, denying that he was a time traveler.
well, to me, time travel, we wouldn't know if it happened because you can't... Two theories. Either everything that was planned to happen has already been planned. So if you do time travel back, it's already been planned to happen, right? So you can't affect the past because the past has already been, it's already happened. It's already been destined, right? Or every time you travel back in time, a new time stub is created. Parallel universe. So if I traveled back to 1980, I couldn't affect, this is already going to happen. Nothing's going to change. But from my life in 1980 forward, like that would change. So it's another timeline. And then that theory is that everything that can happen will happen.
So you're talking like a multiverse.
Well, that's the only way that time travel backwards works. Like
It's not like Back to the Future. So if you went back as a kid and then did different stuff, you might not end up here, and the podcast would be different.
You can't give yourself the sports almanac and bet.
Win all the money. Come Biff Tannen. Yes.
So if I went back in time right now, this has already happened. I can't affect it. Now
You just make another branch.
I make another branch, and the timelines all run. But who knows? That's why. Like, let's just say I started betting. Let's just say I took a sports almanac back to like 1995. Okay, and I started gambling. Well,
Why 1995? Why would you want to go back to 1995?
96 Huskers, baby.
Go Big Red! National championship!
Bet on this 96 Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, I got it.
covering that spread.
Oh, man.
But let's just say I go back to 1995 and I start betting on games. Like I wouldn't affect them right then. Like I'd get some right, but I would affect the outcomes of games. I could affect the outcomes of a lot of different things.
Eventually, yeah.
By just the way I bet. If people started figuring it out, then you know what I mean. Things would change based on if you were like super overt about like your betting and you like became Biff, you know what I mean?
Right.
And you were like you would alter everything. So you can't have the only way for time travel to work backwards is that we have a different timeline, because time is only really on Earth. Like in space there is not time. So, and our concept of time changes. Sorry.
This has been a deep.
This is what happens when Tanner doesn't have music or a TV on at the store.
I'm just enjoying this because I know this is the conversations you have with yourself.
All I can think about is
The only person I can really talk to is ChatGPT.
like, how much fucking time does Tanner have on his hands, and what does he do for fun? Like, is this fun?
This is
Oh my God. I can't. The other day, this lady walks in and I had something about like quantum mechanics on, and she looks at you, she goes, "What are you watching?" It's like, "Oh, just quantum mechanics, sorry, pause."
Just something to pass the time. It's fine.
I'm trying to build a robot I can argue with.
Have you ever tried to read any of the quantum mechanics textbooks?
Oh, it's so hard.
Oh my God.
I don't read well. Like I can read the words, but like my brain just goes away.
Yeah.
Like it bounces all over the place. Like I was like Nicole was laughing at me because I pulled out a book and I'm reading it and I fall asleep.
Yeah,
like
same problem.
yeah.
I can't stay focused on a read.
like a few pages in, and then she's like, "Is this why you don't read?" I'm like, "Yeah," because like
Or I'm on page 10 and I'm like,
What the fuck did I just read?
I don't remember anything that just happened. How
Yeah.
did
I have to read the same page like 4 times because I spaced out and totally forgot what I read.
And I was like, it was like How to Live Off the Grid. It was like a off the grid book, and I was like, and I have a lot of the books around just in case something happens because we're not gonna have access to information. Like, keep the shit around. But I was like looking at some shit, and I'm like, like my head did the head
But you know
bob.
what's crazy is I can watch you could give me a book to read or a video of the same book, and I'll remember most of the shit from that video than I ever will from that book.
If I read and
I'm a very
take
visual
notes,
learner.
if I read and take notes, I will not forget it. But I have to take notes, and sometimes my notes look like I just rewrote the book. But
It's too much work. I'll just wait for the
So
the
you just
movie.
need to transcribe the book.
if I transcribe the book,
I remember.
but if I hear something, I remember it. Like I am very auditory.
Yeah, like Amber can read like all kinds of books, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm still reading the same one she got me last year, and I'm only like 6 pages in.
Because I fall asleep.
Yeah.
I just,
Dude.
yeah,
Same. Like I've started doing now.
I used to
like
read all the time though.
I still read. I don't read as much. So what I've started to do is listening to the books on Audible at like 1.5, 2x speed.
You can listen to 2.
Well, so what I'm doing is I'm
Chipmunks.
listening.
Dude,
Yeah.
I cannot. 2 is too fast.
But so what I'm doing, because like so I'll do like a nonfiction. Like I'm reading one now that I'm going to do with my team at work. So I listen to it, and then if I hear something that I was like, oh, that sounded interesting, cool. Go back, listen to it at like 1.5. And when I get through the end, if I thought that the book had merit and stuff that I wanted, then I'll get the hard copy and like go through and find the stuff that I really want to listen to or want to read. But it's not very efficient, but it's the only way.
I will like listen or watch, and then like I will have notes in my phone, and then I will just. It's like if I'm diving and looking at like articles and like stuff like that, I can read like without falling. But if I'm just like, if it's like a book on like how to live off the grid, and I'm like looking through like there might be stuff. Yeah, just if I'm not interested, I'm probably.
I just always tell Amber she's a nerd, but it's really because she's better than me and can read.
No.
Yeah, you're a nerd. It's basically
Yeah.
because I can't do that.
And I have like, and I think I don't know if it was something that I probably just like lean towards the style, but like I don't remember specifics from books or videos or things that I listen to even. But what I'm really good at is picking up like concepts and ideas. So like quoting stats and stuff, like you're really good at like, oh, I read this, here's this stuff. And like, I'm like, I don't remember that part, but I remember the concept.
Yeah.
And then I can apply that concept in there, but like I don't.
This is why I can remember movie lines from like a movie I saw
Yeah.
in 2003.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like,
Oh yeah, you are, and
Chris
I
does
can't.
the same thing.
I can't like you guys say movie. I could have watched a movie 100 times. I probably don't know any lines.
But I can visually watch. Like I taught myself how to screen print and shit. Like I can watch a YouTube University and I can learn anything. But if they would have said, you need to read this book and learn how to screen print, I'm
Oh,
out.
not doing it.
I got the instructions to put a trigger in, and it fucking first they were terribly printed. Number one, but no, I just watched a YouTube video.
Did he just sew a gun and the guy hold the trigger and he's like, boop.
Yeah, like there you get the instructions and it's just like all like half blacked out and you can't see anything. And I was
Oh,
like,
it was redacted.
yeah. If it's pictures or a video, I can 100% do it.
Picture
you-
books for Brett. I got it.
Yeah, pop-ups are better because you can get the 3D effect of what it really is.
Yeah, you're trying to learn how to do something out of a book. You're like, man, this is really good. Yeah, I'm really learning a lot. Where's my birth certificate? Do I have a social security card? I haven't seen it in a while. What are we doing later?
What's the best
I'm
way to
kind of
tie a
hungry.
shoe?
I kind of have to.
Like, what?
I kind of have to shit. Should I shit now or wait till after?
Yeah.
The next thing you're on page 4 and you're like, fuck. I don't know anything that just happened. I still don't know where my birth certificate's at, and I do have to poop.
I still have the shit. And I don't know where my stupid is. And I don't remember what I read.
Yeah, so that was a waste of everybody's time.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I start reading it, it's just like I'm a fucking space cadet. I'm just like, oh, well. Or like music. I can't, otherwise I start listening to music.
Well, if I am gonna read, I have to like.
That's what I said. But then all of a sudden now I'm singing the lyrics to the song in my head. And I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I have to have music, or I have to have music going to like like distract the part of my brain that's going to go run and find something else to do.
That goes back to like when you're a kid and you listen to the same album like 100 times, so you know all the lyrics. But I would have never like read a book in that time.
Right.
I spent 40 hours memorizing this fucking album, but there's no way to read a book.
I had to read something for work that I didn't want to read, and I would play static in my ears. So that's the only way I could concentrate.
Oh, like that static actually, or that like repetitive type noise, I will fucking send me like in a place where I want to like murder people.
Good.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Like static on a radio, like I'm just like,
Yeah. Yeah, we're really all over the place today.
yeah, sorry about that.
Well, you know, we talked about start with ChatGPT to argue with people, but
There's a lot of information.
yeah. So, you know, I think the real lesson is, you know, use ChatGPT correctly or whatever you're using. But also, if you're going to like try to like talk shit to people, make sure they can't ChatGPT it and prove you wrong.
Yeah.
Like that guy. I was like, dude, that statute means nothing to me. Like,
It's got to be changing dynamics. I mean, that's like, think about because we just got the car for Erin. Like when we bought her first car, like we didn't have ChatGPT, but we had the internet. And so I was looking at their website and it was listed for probably like 3,000 or 4,000 less than this guy was saying. And I was like, wait a minute. This is what it's on your website. Oh, well, that's for this different car. And I was like, nope, this is the exact same VIN number. He was like, oh, shit.
well, you know what else is I've learned a really good use for ChatGPT, and you can use it on the free version. You know, I mean, the free version does everything you basically need to do, unless you're trying to do images.
Not if you want to have a relationship with it.
Well, yeah.
You gotta pay 20
The free
bucks.
one doesn't
Okay,
remember
don't
you.
let him talk to you like
But you know what I think is actually really great on there is if you're going to buy something, because you know there's so many websites or Instagram shops, you can go on there and you can ask if it's a credible website, and it'll go through and give you like, hey, it has like, this is kind of a red flag because it's at this many, and it'll tell you if it's like a not legit website.
And spoiler alert, 90% of websites are not good.
Yeah. So, and I'm not saying to
Like
always,
if you're scrolling through Instagram and it pops up,
Yeah.
probably don't buy it.
and I'm not saying to always like not trust them, but I mean, if you're worried about getting scammed, you can ask ChatGPT if a website's legit. Like stuff like that is like super helpful on there.
Amazon has like completely programmed me into like
Or you can check on Amazon too and just see if it's
I just check
there.
on Amazon.
Yeah.
Because I know that if something goes wrong, that Amazon will fix it.
Yeah.
So like if you're like anything that pops up, any ad that pops up on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and if something looks interesting, I just do a search and then go find it on Amazon, and it's usually cheaper. And you can read reviews, and if something sucks, you can just send it back.
Yeah. I mean, you
But-
can hate a lot of the AI stuff all you want to, but as far as like, or if you want to buy like, if you're going to buy something with some comparisons, it'll give you, you know, user reviews on stuff like all at one time. If you're going to compare something, which it's great for that stuff. But like I said, I used it for a couple times for some sites I thought might be scammy when I was buying some stuff around Christmas. And it's like, yeah, don't buy from this site. Like people weren't getting their product and, you know, and shit like that. So
It is funny how the internet, YouTube, ChatGPT, AI are all like there's so many different uses for it because you see these things like don't use AI to ask questions, use it to program websites, blah, blah, blah. There's going to be like there are people who use the internet to learn how to program, right? And there are the people who use the internet to learn about different topics. And then there are people who use the internet just to freaking like snoop on people and like, you know, like stock, like there's all YouTube, same way. People who learn how to use shit, people who just want to watch funny videos. AI is the same thing. Like I have a lot of like trying to figure shit out with AI. There are other people who just like, you know, want to talk shit or yeah.
So it can be very handy. Like don't, I get like people are leery of it and I get that to a certain extent, but you can ask it basic stuff and it'll at least, and it's not going to be a weight answer. Like I've asked it some other things and it gave me its opinion, which I didn't really appreciate. And I told it that, but yeah, it can be super handy for if you're trying not to get scammed or like Matt said, you're buying a car. Like when we went to Cabela's, I had to pick up that griddle. I was trying to decide which one to get. So Matt just asked it and it was like, oh, this one's better. So buy this one. I mean, it'll give you the review.
It's very good for comparables too. Like if you have something that you are doing now and there's something you want to go to, whether that be someone offering you a contract into something, or you upload the one that you have now and you upload the one that you're going to, and it'll give you an unbiased unbiased review of if you're getting screwed or not too.
Well, I loaded anyone who has like a health portal, like your information is in there faster than you're going to hear from your doctor.
Yep. So
I had a stress test done on Thursday. Oh, by the way, fucking worst thing ever. fucking
On the treadmill?
no pharmaceutical induced stress test.
Oh, you didn't
fuck
get the
me.
real one.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I heard those are
They
fucking,
like fucking
awful.
like put some drugs in you, and I'm like, oh my God.
And
I
your
was
heart's
like, am I having a heart attack?
Like-
She's like, I was like, this feels worse than
Not
my
yet.
heart attack.
That does not sound
Oh,
enjoyable.
it was
at
like 3
all.
minutes of like,
So what they tell you? Like, what's the plan?
well, my doctor hasn't gotten it, but ChatGPT told me I'm fine because I uploaded all the readings of everything. I'm like, hey, what is this? And told it all my background and everything else, what had been happening. It's like, oh, yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
You shouldn't.
I did the same thing with my CT scan that I had with contrast.
So it doesn't
It's
think
like,
you-
oh, it's good. Everything looks good.
It doesn't think you need to do a surgery.
No.
Have you guys used?
And I've already moved on. I haven't talked to my doctor yet, and in my head, I've already moved on to where I'm good because I think it's going to be right.
That's what I said when the last time somebody disrespected ChatGPT. I was like, I trust ChatGPT more than my doctor.
Did you not
Because I
tell-
have uploaded my blood work and things and asked ChatGPT stuff that, and then you go later and ask your doctor like, hey, what about this test? And they're like, and then you see them over there typing. Oh yeah, that looks like that would be a good test for something like this. And it's like, yeah, I'm glad I pay. I use the free version of ChatGPT and it told me that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hey, if you guys do, it's like, and I thought about you, so I just built one on. Have you used projects on ChatGPT? So projects are kind of cool because it's like a siloed version of GPT. So you create this project. It doesn't. So the downfall is that it doesn't have access to all of your other chats that you have. But the upside is that it's not skewed by any of that other stuff. So like I have one that I created that I just call health consultant. And so you give it a prompt and you say like, you are a classically trained general practitioner with an MD who's been in practice for 20 years. You know, you do this, but you also are, you know, you've studied homeopathic medicine. You follow, like, I keyed it up to follow like Peter Attia and Rhonda Patrick and Huberman. And some of these others, and I'm like, these are the people you go to. You don't necessarily conform to the textbook says this, so you follow it. You're open to new medicines, new methodologies, and exploring new avenues for the stuff. So you give it all these prompts. Essentially, you tell it who you want it to be. Like if you could build your own doctor, this is what you are, right? And then you just start uploading stuff, and you give it stuff, and you give it all the data, and then it all stays contained in there, but it always keeps that frame of reference that you give it as a prompt. So every time you come back, like when you go back to your ChatGPT, you either have to give it that prompt every time or kind of deal with normal GPT. But if you build a project, it has that prompt in there. And so
you built basically a learning model.
Yeah, you built like a little small learning model, and then you give it prompts and you tell it what to be. And you can go back
Learning
and
models are
adjust
going to be what people are going to be good. That's going to be the thing. Learning models and prompting.
Yep.
And how to get to the right things.
So I thought about, like, I built one, and it's really cool and it's really good. And I was asking it some like test questions, like, well, you know, for cardiac events, like what are the best tests to do? And I was like, hey, so I've got like, here's my last test results. Here's my cholesterol. Like, what meds and med combos would you do? It's like, oh, well, you'd want to do, you know, this kind of thing. And if you start off, you want to probably start with a low dose statin, but then you also want to stack it with, I can't remember what the thing was. It wasn't a PCSK9. It was something else. But you can stack it with that, and that'll do a good truck. And if you do that, then if that doesn't work out and you don't get to where you want to go, then you'll probably want to explore something like Repatha. And it went down all this route. But like it did all of that because of how like
You had it set
how
up.
it was queued up.
Projects.
Yeah, so you start projects. The other one that was really interesting, we were talking about training before and people wanting to be trainers. So I was just out in Indiana talking with Drew, and he was trying to build a program where he was trying to like balance out some stuff. And so I was like, well, what are you trying to do? And so he gave me this rundown. So I didn't create a project, but I built this prompt to give to him. And funny, like what Drew had been working on for the better part of like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, with the right prompt, he put it in there and it got him like 90% of the way in like a single shot and stuff. And
That's where prompting and learning models. That's the next. Those are the next people. Those are the next jobs they're going to create.
Yeah. Prompting right now is like it's cool. So like I've been really exploring like, especially building projects. So I told him like, hey, build a project, give it the stuff, because he was like, you know, Chris Bumstead, right? He's like, hey, you like Chris Bumstead, and I think it's Hani Rambod.
Yeah,
Hani, you like that. Israel, but you also like the training style of Dorian Yates. and Mike Menser, like, you're down with that stuff. And he's like, I want to do a 2-day on, 1-day off split. That's on a 9-day cycle. I'm trying to bring up my chest. I definitely don't want to grow my back as much. But then my secondary thing that I want to try to bring up would be like calves. Build that in and give me like what I should split that out. And so it's like, oh, you'd want Monday, Tuesday, your day 1, day 2 is this. Then you have an off day, day 3, day 4, day 5 is this, and so on. And they was like, run that for 8 weeks, switch it, and then you can do this. And then he was like, oh, what kind of exercises would I do if I really want to? He's like, if I'm trying to hit like upper chest versus this. And it's like, oh, well, these, 15 exercises have been reported to do all this stuff. But it was really cool. So projects in there. I don't know if you can do projects on the free version. I don't think. But
And I think I just do the paid's like 20, was it 20 bucks?
$20 a month. Yeah. Totally worth it.
Especially I can do it for a lot of image stuff too.
Yep. And so like if you're doing, if there's like a style or whatnot, like you can create a project if you're trying to do images and you can key it up to like your style. So you could upload stuff like, here's stuff I made.
Yeah, it'll figure out because it'll say like, even when I first started doing it, it's like, do you want like an old school, like gritty, like gym feel, or do you want to do?
Yeah.
So it'll ask like different ones.
Yeah. And you can build that project and then give it prompts and say, hey, this is the stuff that I like. These are the kind of things and stuff. And then when you give it feedback and you say, yes, I like that image, it stores it in that project and then it'll reference that in the future.
Yeah, it's pretty handy. You guys got anything else?
It's neat.
All right, everybody. We appreciate you listening. Try out some ChatGPT. The world's not going to get taken over soon. It'll be fine.
Not yet.
We appreciate you listening. We'll see you guys next time.